students, today I'm back with my new chapter, Anatomy of Flowering Plants. So today, after morphology of flowering plants, today we are back with anatomy of flowering plants. Okay, so first we are covering the tissue system. Our first topic is the tissue system. And the tissue system is divided into three types: epidermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. So what are the three things? Epidermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. Okay. Ground tissue is the most fundamental and simple type of tissue system. Rest are epidermal and vascular. So let us study all of them one by one. First, let us come to epidermal tissue. Obviously, this forms the outermost layer of primary plant body. It forms the outermost layer of the plant body. It comprises of epidermal cells, and few epidermal cells have stomata, because we know stomata is very essential for plants. So it comprises of epidermal cells. Few epidermal cells have stomata. They also have epidermal appendages like trichomes and hairs. Okay, they have epidermal appendages like trichomes and hair. They are made up of what? So first thing is that they form the outermost layer. Epidermis forming the outermost layer of the primary plant body. Comprises of epidermal cells, stomata, and epidermal appendages like trichomes and hairs. It is made up of what? It is made up of elongated, compactly arranged cells forming continuous layers. And mind it, students, it is very important for epidermis to form such continuous layer to prevent water seepage also and to prevent water loss also. Okay, it is very important, students, to form this continuous layer in the epidermis, that is without any intercellular space. Okay, so that they can prevent water seepage as well as water loss. They are usually single layered. And which type of cell forms it? It is mostly formed of parenchymatous cells with small amount of cytoplasm, and it is lining the cell wall with large vacuole. The cells are like this, little bit elongated cells with large vacuole. And here is the cytoplasm, very small amount of cytoplasm lining the cell wall. Very small amount of, wait, let me draw it bigger, then I think it will be easier for you to understand. This picture has got little bit too much small. Wait. Let me draw it here. So what I was trying to tell is that these are the elongated cell with large vacuole and very small amount of cytoplasm lining the cell wall. So this is vacuole, this is cytoplasm, cell wall. So this is the overall structure of the epidermal cells. Okay. The outside of this epidermal tissue system is covered with waxy thick layer called cuticle. This prevents loss of water. Actually, here it should have been written that this prevents further loss of water, because loss of water is also prevented by this continuous layer. Okay. Cuticle is absent in the root. Obviously, cuticle if there in the root, then imagine how will the root absorb water from its surrounding like situations, surrounding soil. How will it if it is covered by cuticle? So obviously cuticle is absent in the root. Okay, bachcho. So now stomata. It is present in the epidermis of the leaves. Stomata is present in the epidermis of the leaves, and it regulates transpiration and gaseous exchange. It regulates transpiration and gaseous exchange. So now let us see a picture of stomata. बच्चों मैं थोड़ा अपना ये प्रीव्यू ऑफ कर रही हूँ, नहीं तो फिर ये नहीं दिखेगा. ओके. So here we can see those epidermal cells. See, there is no intercellular space. They are tightly packed. Okay. So these are the epidermal cells. Okay. Now what is this? This is a specialized epidermal cell in the vicinity of the guard cell. Guard cell is this one. This one is the guard cell, okay? And these are the subsidiary cells, which are basically the specialized type of epidermal cells, okay? And these guard cells, actually what it does, it guards this stomatal pore. It guards this stomatal pore. The characteristics of guard cells are that its inner wall is thick, outer wall is thin, possess chloroplast, and regulates opening and closing of the stomata. Actually, this turgidity of this guard cell is responsible for opening and closing of the stomata. So these are the epidermal cells without any intercellular spaces, tightly packed. These are the subsidiary cells. Subsidiary cells are what? They are specialized epidermal cells in the vicinity of the guard cells. Okay. And stomatal aperture, that is this, plus guard cell plus subsidiary cell equal to stomatal apparatus, equal to stomatal apparatus. So guard cell plus stomatal pore plus subsidiary cells, that is this whole thing together is known as stomatal apparatus. This whole thing together is known as stomatal apparatus. Now let us come to the further characteristics of epidermal tissue system. The root hairs are basically elongation of epidermal cells. Root hairs are elongation of epidermal cells. Like we saw, stomata is a structure or a system which is present in the leaf epidermal cells. Root hairs are elongation of root epidermal cells. Okay. And what is the another characteristics of root epidermal cells? Yes. कि उसमें क्यूटिकल्स नहीं होते हैं, उसमें क्यूटिकल्स नहीं होते हैं. They are devoid of cuticles, and also they are unicellular. They are unicellular. Root hairs are unicellular. What is the function of root hairs? It helps in absorption of water and minerals from soil. It helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Now, leaf is done, root is done, up stem. The epidermal hairs here are called trichomes. We learnt in the first 2 points that they have some appendages, trichomes and hairs. So in leaf, this epidermal hairs are called trichomes. And trichomes are multicellular. So this is a very important point to remember. While root hairs are unicellular, trichomes are multicellular. Okay? While root hairs are unicellular, trichomes are multicellular. They may be branched, unbranched, soft or stiff. They can be branched, unbranched, soft or stiff. They can be secretory also. Trichomes help in preventing water loss due to transpiration. So this is another mechanism of prevention of water loss. Trichome helps in preventing water loss due to transpiration. Now let us come to the simplest and fundamental tissue system, that is the ground tissue system. It consists of simple tissues such as parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay, it consists of simple tissues like parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now, parenchymatous cells are usually present in cortex, pericycle and pith. What are these? That I will tell you later in this chapter. Okay, while we will be studying anatomy of dicot root, monocot root, dicot stem, I will tell you what is cortex, pericycle, pith and medullary rays in primary stems and root. So parenchymatous cells are usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith, medullary rays and in the primary stems and roots. In leaves, it consists of chloroplast containing cells called mesophils. In leaves, it consists of chloroplast containing cells called mesophils. We will come across this when we are going to learn about spongy cell and all these things in the leaf structure, okay, anatomy of leaf. Then we will go through this mesophil. Till now, what we will know? Okay, in leaves, it consists of chloroplast containing cells called mesophil. Okay, now let us come to vascular tissue system. Now let us come to vascular tissue system. Vascular tissue system consists of complex tissues. Okay. In ground tissue system, what we learned, that it consists of simple tissues. But vascular tissue system consists of complex tissues. What are those? They are phloem and xylem. And now we will learn about another term, that is cambium. What is this? In case of open vascular bundle, cambium is present between phloem and xylem. In case of open vascular bundle, cambium is present between phloem and xylem. And thus, they have ability to form secondary xylem and phloem tissues. Open vascular bundle has the ability to form secondary xylem and phloem tissues, and they are mostly present in dicotyledonous plants. This open vascular bundle is generally present in dicotyledonous plants. And what happens here? Here cambium is present between xylem and phloem, and it has the ability to form secondary xylem and secondary phloem tissues. Okay. Now let us come to closed vascular bundles. What will happen? Okay, these are without cambium. These are nothing but without cambium. Okay. In open, there is cambium. In closed, there is no cambium. So this is the difference, primary difference between open and closed vascular bundle. And another difference is that they do not form secondary tissue. They do not form secondary tissue. ठीक है बच्चों? तो क्या हुआ? ओपन में है कैम्बियम बिटवीन जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम. Closed में there is no cambium between xylem and phloem. Okay, and in open there is presence of secondary xylem and phloem tissues, again which is not present in case of closed vascular bundles. And those are present mostly in dicotyledonous plant, and these are present mostly in monocotyledonous plant. Now we are going to learn about different arrangements of xylem and phloem. Different arrangements of xylem and phloem. Now what is the first arrangement? It is the radial arrangement. The first one is the radial arrangement. How it is done? It can be done by arranging xylem and phloem in alternate manner. Xylem and phloem in alternate manner along the radii. Xylem and phloem are arranged in alternate manner along the radii. Like if this is the stem, xylem and phloem is arranged like this. Okay, xylem and phloem is arranged like this in the along the radii. Here these are the xylems and this is the phloem. This is the phloem, this is the xylem, and you can see that they are arranged alternately. Phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem. Clear? They are along the radii and they are arranged in alternate manner. Now after radial arrangement, there is this one conjoint arrangement. Okay, there is this one called conjoint arrangement. Here what happens? Xylem and phloem are jointly situated. Xylem and phloem are jointly situated along the same radius of vascular bundles. Xylem and phloem are jointly situated. See here, they are jointly situated along the same radius of the vascular bundles. That is, they are not like in alternate manner, like not one phloem and one xylem like that. No, it is phloem and xylem together, or maybe you can think it like this: phloem and xylem together. Phloem, then xylem. Phloem, then xylem. Clear? So this is known as the conjoint arrangement. This is known as the conjoint arrangement of vascular bundles. It is mostly present in stems and leaves. It is mostly present in stems and leaves. And it usually have phloem located on the outer side of the xylem. It is the usual thing, बच्चों, ये मान के चलो. This is the usual thing. Phloem is located on the outer side of the xylem. Now, since cambium is present in between, this is open conjoint. Since cambium is present between these two, phloem and xylem, it is open conjoint. And since cambium is not present here, we can see that phloem and xylem are just attached to each other. So these are closed conjoint. Okay, so this is open conjoint and this is closed conjoint. So today I am going to end my lecture on anatomy of flowering plants here. In the next class, we will be doing the whole of the rest of the chapter, that is anatomy of dicot, monocot, root, stem and leaf. And so thank you, happy learning, and please do comment me and let me know which are the chapters that you want to read and learn along with me, and which type of MCQs or PYQs would you like to learn with me. And okay, thank you, happy learning, all the best, bye bye.